the 2 biggest times I've done it, probably the 2 biggest closes I've ever done. And so
it works.
It works really well, no matter how scared you might be of doing it. So try that one out as well.
Hey, this is Russell. Welcome to part number 2 of Persuasion Secrets. This is one you asked for and you begged for in the comments because you wanted to hear all of Myron Golden's Persuasion Secrets. With that said, let's come on over and check out what Myron taught you guys about persuasion. Again, last video was Persuasion Secrets part 1. This is part number 2. We got 4 more Persuasion Secrets that are gonna blow your mind. All right, now Myron Golden's one of the greatest stage presenters in the history of all time. One of my favorite speakers at Funnel Hacking Live. And so these are all of his principles from the Persuasion Secrets Masterclass that we taught on stage. And right now we're gonna jump into principle number 2 for Myron, which is his first principle he shared. This is called the all my cards on the table close. This one is insanely cool. Check it out, Mr. Myron Golden.
So you have to start out closing if you're going to end up closing. And so one of the ones that I like to start with is the all my cards on the table close. And how that works is like this. Like I'll do a challenge or a webinar or whatever, and I'll say, hey, you guys, have you ever been to one of those webinars or a presentation or a live event or a summit or something where people actually, they pretend to be teaching you something while the whole time they're trying to sell you something, and so you're sitting there trying to figure out how much it costs? How many of y'all have ever had that, and they wave their hands? Yeah, okay, this is not that. Now, after I say this is not that, I say, not only is this not that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have something to sell you at the end, and I can tell you how much it is. It's $87,000. Now you don't have to spend any energy whatsoever worrying about if I'm going to sell you something or how much it costs. So now you can spend all of your time evaluating what I'm teaching you to see if what I'm saying makes sense enough to you that you would want the learning to continue going, so you pay me at the end. Does that make sense? Everyone say yes? And so what I do is I say, okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to teach you a lot of cool stuff. In fact, in this challenge, webinar, whatever, in this challenge, I'm going to teach you more than you've learned in a lot of multi-$1,000 courses you've bought. And so your job is to evaluate whether or not it's worth it. My job is to give you so much value. When I'm done, you don't want the learning to stop. Does that sound fair? Say, that's fair.
That's fair.
Excellent. Give yourselves a hand for being here today. Now, when I do that, what happens is I've taken away all of the things that they were going to use to resist my offer at the beginning. Right? Now, instead of them thinking, okay, what's he going to try to sell me? Okay, how much is it going to cost? And they're using all of that energy to distract themselves from everything I'm saying. They don't have to use any of that energy for that at all. Now they can just evaluate it. They know how much it costs. And after I say it's $87,000, at the beginning of my presentation, they say, there's no way I'm paying that guy $87,000. In the middle of my presentation, they're thinking, man, I wish I had $87,000. By the end of my presentation, they're saying, I got to go find $87,000, right? And then when I give them the price, I give them a reason that I'm going to do them a favor and maybe only charge them $30,000 or $50,000, whatever that price is for that thing, and I can create a reason to sell it to them for less because they don't know who I am and whatever else the other reasons I give them. But now I put all my cards on the table, and since I put my cards on the table and I told them I'm going to sell them something and I told them how much it costs, now they have a higher level of trust with me because I also acknowledge that I've recognized the kind of webinars and seminars and presentations they've been to before, and this is not that. And just me saying this is not that, even if they say, well, I hear you saying this is not that, but I'm going to see. Now they're paying attention to see if this is not that. So the next thing you have to do in that presentation, you have to make sure that your presentation is actually good, actually provides value, and it's not just a sales pitch disguised as teaching something. Is that helpful? Yes?
Yeah.
All right, Russell.
I want to add to that. So the first time he told me that, I was like, so you tell them the price at the beginning? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that is so scary. And so I never did. The very first time I ever did it literally was at the 10X event. And I had it in my slides, and I kept going through. I'm like, nope, nope, and nope. And like probably 5 minutes before I was gonna delete the slides, I'm like, I was so scared. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So then I sent the slides off, and then it was too late. And so I get out there, I'm going through the slides, and all of a sudden I see like slide 3 or 4 is me literally telling them like, at the end of this, I'm gonna sell you guys something for $11,557. And if I can prove you that funnels are the greatest thing in the world, how many of you guys are willing to pay $11,552? And I got everyone to actually commit to it. And then I did the entire presentation, and then I did the end, and it crushed, and it blew my mind. And recently I did a webinar. How many of you guys saw the Funnel Builder webinar I did a month ago or so? During that webinar, I did the same thing, like slide 2, I'm like, just so you guys know, my goal of this entire presentation is to get you guys to become certified funnel builder, and the cost of this is gonna be $20,000. Here's the price up here, and then I did the entire presentation, and at the end, we had the price drop. But so the two biggest times I've done it, probably the two biggest closes I've ever done. And so
It works.
it works really well, no matter how scared you might be of doing it. So try that one out as well.
All right, I told you Myron's amazing. Now we're gonna jump into his fourth principle right here. Principle number 4 is called the no permission decision close. With that said, let's check out Myron Golden.
The no permission decision close. Now, you got to have a little bit of intestinal fortitude to use this close. So a lot of times, see, and understand what Russell and I are doing. We're showing you that we already know the points of resistance people have. You don't have to wait till they become objections to overcome them. You can just answer them while they're questions and they don't fester into objections. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes? Okay, so the no permission decision close is the one that you have to use when you feel like there are going to be people on your webinar, in your seminar, whatever, where they're going to have to say, I need to go talk to my wife, I need to go talk to my husband, I need to get permission from my wife, I need to get permission from my husband, I need to get permission from the mailman, the milkman, the dog catcher, my next door neighbor who's just as broke as I am, right? And they're always going to find somebody they need to get permission from. So what you have to do is you have to empower people. I don't believe you have to convince people to buy, you have to empower people. They already, like people don't come to your webinar about how to do X, Y, Z because they don't want to learn how to do X, Y, Z, right? So you have to empower them to say yes. How do you do that? No permission decision. So, and I tell a story. And this story is, I was at the driving range one day, and I was hitting practice balls because I'm a golfaholic. And I know I need to join Golfaholics Anonymous. Hi, my name's Myron. I'm a golfer. Okay, so anyway, so I was at the driving range one day. This dude that I've never had a conversation with before in my life. He comes up to me. He says, "You must not be married." Now, at that time, I was married for 35 years. I've been married now for 37 years. He said, "You must not be married." I said, "I've been married for 35 years. Why would you assume that I'm not married?" He said, "Your wife lets you play golf this much?" And I said, "Lets me? What am I, in the 3rd grade?" I said, "Let me help you understand how we do it in my house, bro. We don't do permission in my house. My wife doesn't give me permission. I don't give her permission. We are both grown. If my wife wants to buy a house on her way home, do your thing, baby. Show it to me when you get done closing," right? And so all the ladies love that one, right? Ladies, can I get witness, sisters? Can I get a witness? Okay. So the reason I use that, well, first of all, it's true. My wife doesn't ask for me for permission to buy anything. I don't ask her for permission to buy anything. That's not how we do it in our house. It's insane. People get married, and now the woman has a new dad and the dude has a new mom. Like, what is that? That's not marriage, right? So anyway, I don't have any opinions about that anyway. If I did, I'd never voice them in public. But since it's just us here, right? When I say that, I say, you know what? Your life is going to be better off when you stop giving permission to your spouse and you stop seeking permission from your spouse. And your marriage is going to get better off because your spouse is not going to resent you when you tell them no, and you're not going to resent them when they tell you no, because y'all will celebrate the fact that each of you are adults. And I'm telling you, you say, well, how well does that work? I've been married for 37 years.
Yeah.
So it might work some, right? But we're grown. Like, my wife is not my daughter. I'm not her son. That's not how we do the thing, right? So the no permission close, you have to tell a story about when you didn't ask for permission. Now, if you've been married for 10 years and getting permission for 11, that close might not work for you.
He's got 2 more to share with you guys, but let me know in the comments down below which ones are your biggest ahas, the ones you love the most. This next one's gonna address the biggest concern that most people have when they're trying to sell something to somebody else, right? The concern is like, I can't afford that. So we're gonna jump into Myron's 6th principle, that I can't afford this close.
How many of you ever get the objection, I can't afford it, right? Okay, that's one you have to answer really, really early in your presentation. You can't wait until they say I can't afford it, because if you try to overcome it then it feels like arguing, right? So I call this the I can't afford it close. And so what I do is I tell them early on in my presentation, I define what I can't afford it really means. So I say, some of you have heard people say, and by the way, even before I say that, let me say this. One of the best ways for you to use a close, I probably shouldn't tell you this part. I'm really giving you keys to the castle right now, so, okay, but I'm gonna tell you.
Give us the keys, Myron.
Okay, so one of the best ways to teach people something that is gonna immediately help you and cost them money is to teach them how it's gonna immediately help them and make them money. right? Did y'all pick up what I just said? So instead of me saying, don't tell me you can't afford it, say, how many of you ever get I can't afford it? Wave at me and say I. Okay. How many of you'd like to never get that again? Say me. Me. Okay, here's what you do. And I get it. There's only 7 of you who don't want to get that anymore. I get that. Okay, so here's what you do. You say, I'm going to teach you now how to not have to deal with I can't afford it anymore. Everybody ready? Let me hear everybody shout, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So here's how it works. Understand that when you talk to people and they say I can't afford it, it never means they don't have the money. Here's what it really means. I'm going to translate I can't afford it into a language you can understand. Here it is. This is not important enough to me to figure it out. I mean, think about it. How many of you have ever seen something that you want, but you didn't have the money for, but you figured it out? Wave at me and say I.
Aye.
Right. We've seen a house, we've seen a car, we've seen a pair of shoes, we've seen a vacation, we've seen something we wanted to buy, didn't have the money for it, but what do? We figured it out because we know that everything is figure-outable. But when it doesn't mean enough to us, we don't figure it out. So understand that when your potential clients say to you, I can't afford it, what they're saying is, this isn't important enough to me to figure it out. Now, here's what you got to do after they say that. You have to figure out what in your presentation. Whose presentation? Everybody tap yourself on the chest, say mine. You got to figure out what in your presentation made them come to the conclusion that it's not important enough for them to figure it out, and then fix that. And then I can't afford it won't come up anymore. Does that make sense to everybody? Say yes? And so watch what happens. If I pre-frame that new belief, see, people weren't born believing anything. So we think, well, this is what they believe, though. I can't just tell them they don't believe. They weren't born believing that. They adopted it from somewhere. You can give them a new belief that serves them at a higher level, and they'll adopt that, like in the moment. So that's how I overcome I can't afford it before I ever hear I can't afford it, so people don't say I can't afford it. Even if they want to say, even if they don't have the money, and it's not even important enough for them to figure it out, they don't say either one of those. Right? They just don't do it. Yet, I had a lady come to me. She said, Myron, I've been following you for 12 years, and finally, I decided to buy your high-ticket program, back when it was like $25,000. She had been following me for 12 years before she bought anything, and the first thing she decides to buy is $25,000. So sometimes it's not important enough for me to figure it out. If you're really, really good, the last word in that sentence will be yet.
All right, you guys enjoying these persuasion secrets so far? If so, we gave you 4 from the last video. This is the 4th one's about to land right now. It's 8 persuasion secrets to help you to sell more stuff online. If you really want to sell more stuff online, we are doing a live event coming up in the very near future called Selling Online. It's going to teach you over 3 days how to sell more of your products and your services through the internet. We go through how to create a level 10 offer, how to create a presentation, a one-to-many presentation, how to build a funnel, how to drive insane amounts of traffic. It's the best event we do. It's 3 days long. If you go to sellingonline.com or click on the link down in the description, come get your tickets, come hang out with us for 3 days. We go really, really deep on how to get more people to buy your stuff online. It's the best thing in the world. But with that said, I want to jump over now to principle number 8 from Myron. This is the last persuasion secret. It's going to teach you guys how to sell more stuff online. This is called the Upgrade Your Money Close. This one is insane. It's going to blow your mind. Check it out right now, and then we come back. I got one more cool thing to share with you guys that is going to be probably the coolest of all the things. So check it out right now, and we'll see you guys in a second.
This is like a price elasticity and how you overcome price resistance close. I call it the Upgrade Your Money Close. Okay, and here's how it works. So I will say to somebody in the audience, I'll say, look, I've got a $100 bill. Is there anybody in this audience who would like to buy this from me for $10? You give me 10, I give you 100. Okay, cool. So I want to pick somebody. Raise your hands again. I want to pick somebody. I'm looking for somebody I know. It's so hard to see people. Okay. So anyway, yeah. I'm just going to say John Smith. Oh, I'm not selling it yet. So, but stay there. What is your name? Samir? Samir. So Samir, we're going to take Samir, y'all. So Samir, if I said you give me 10, I give you 100, right? Do you like that deal? How many of y'all think that's a good deal for Samir? Say yes. Okay. So what if I say, okay, Samir, let's change the game a little bit. Let's say you give me 100, I give you 1,000. Like you give me 100, like I start peeling them off, right? I give you 1,000, right? You like that deal? Do you like that deal? How many of y'all think he's making a good deal, y'all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about this? What about you give me 1,000, I give you 10,000? You like that better? Okay. So let's play the game a little longer because this is getting kind of tiring. You give me 10,000, I give you 100,000. Do you like that deal? How many of y'all think he's making a good decision? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, you give me 100,000, I'll give you $1 million. I mean, like, write you a check right now, clears the bank, let's go. Do you want that deal? You give me 100 grand, I give you $1 million. By the way, how many of y'all think he's making a good deal? Okay, how many of you, if I said to you, you give me $100,000, I give you $1 million. That's a good, you do, like you would do it today. Right, okay, so watch what happens. What if I said to Samir and all of the rest of you, I'm only going to do one of those. I'm going to give you 100 for 10, 1,000 for 100, 10,000 for 1,000, 100,000 for 10,000, or $1 million for 100,000, and you can only pick one. Samir, which one are you going to pick? The first one, a middle one, or the last one? The last one. How many of y'all? First one, middle, or last? Can't hear you. Okay, so what did I just do? I just taught you how to think like a wealthy person. What does that mean? Poor people ask the wrong questions, that's why they get the wrong answers. They always ask, how much does it cost? When they should be asking, how much is it worth? And so, does it stand to reason? I mean, watch this. I want y'all to really think about this now. This is me teaching you how to close stuff on your presentations. Does it stand to reason that Russell Brunson has helped 400 and something people get, 1,900 something people get 2 Comma Club awards, 400 and something people get 2 Comma Club X awards, and then 40 something people get like 2 Comma Club C, I don't even know the letters anymore, the bigger one awards. Does it stand to reason that he could teach you how to make $1 million, yes or yes? Right. And so when I'm doing it, I ask people, so does it stand to reason that if I've taught this person how to have $1 million day, this person how to have a $100,000 day, this person had a $300 day, this person had a $900,000 day, and apologize for it not being $1 million day, does it stand to reason I could teach you how to make that much in a year, right? And all you have to do is think about it. So now I've given them a new frame to think about my offer, and they're not asking when I make the offer, how much does it cost? They're asking what? How much is it worth? Because the reality is, like, if I had not joined Russell's Inner Circle, and I'm not trying to pitch you on Russell's Inner Circle, I'm just using this as an analogy. Like,
But it's true.
But if I had not joined Russell's Inner Circle back in 2015, when I was coming back from 7 years of like total devastation, like if you want to know that story, I've got a video on YouTube that says I lost millions. Like, and literally before I came to Russell, I'd lost millions of dollars and came to his Inner Circle, and it changed my life forever. And I would not be here today. I would not be here today. So doesn't it make more sense to spend more to make more by asking a better question than spending less because of how much it costs? See, it's going to cost you something either way. It's going to cost you if you don't buy, but it's going to cost you if you buy. The problem is it's going to cost you more if you don't buy. It would have cost me all of this. We've done over $11 million already this year in revenue that we would not have done if I had said no to back then what was a $25,000, now it's a $50,000 Inner Circle. So anyway, that's the Upgrade Your Money close.
Okay, there's 4 persuasion secrets from Myron. You got 4 last week from me. That's 8 persuasion secrets. I hope you guys enjoyed them, but I got one thing that's gonna trump all that for you guys right now over here. And if you enjoyed Myron's one of my favorite speakers of all time. I've had him on the channel a couple times, and we have 2 of the most unique, cool, fun interviews ever that were done with Myron Golden. So if you want to watch either of those interviews, there's a link on the end of both of these videos. Check this out somewhere they're at. Go watch those videos, the interviews I did with him, deep going into how to create offers, how to sell more stuff, and they are presentations that will blow your mind. So if you love Myron a little bit, watch these videos and you're gonna love Myron a lot. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys being part of the channel, and check out the next video right now.